Hello and welcome to Fresh and Fit Kitchen. My name is Janelle and I am your culinary guide on today's kitchen adventure. We are going to be lightening up some fast food favorites as well as weeknight staple favorites. One with being tacos. I never get sick of tacos, but there are times that I just don't want all the carbs with the tortilla. We are going to lighten that up by making a taco stuffed portobello mushroom alongside a nice bright and crisp salad. The second one is going to be a spin on a takeout favorite and a guilty pleasure of mine, which is a Philly cheesesteak. We're going to lighten this up by doing Philly chicken cheesesteak stuffed in a bell pepper. Again, we're going to put this on the side. This is going to come together really quickly and will make dinner during the week when you are dreading the words, "What's for dinner?" and you are going to be happy with your results. Hello and welcome back. We are going to get started on our carb light favorites. Today we're going to be doing our taco stuffed portobello mushroom. If you've never worked with portobello mushrooms before, they're actually really fun. They have a really rich, meaty flavor to them, especially when they're cooked. So today we are going to work on breaking this down, and then we're going to stuff all of these with everything you'd find in a taco bar. So I've already done most of the mushrooms, but what I'm going to do is show you how to break it down. It's not that it's hard, but it can be a little tricky if it's your first time. So first of all, we're going to take the stem out. All you have to do is just gently pop that and remove the stem, toss it away, and then see all these ribs that are on the inside? We don't want to eat these. These are really bitter. It's not going to hurt you. We don't need to make sure that this is like super duper clean, but we want most of them gone. Just a spoon is all you need. And then all we're gonna do, and I'm gonna come over here over the garbage can, but all we're gonna do is just gently scrape the inside to get rid of those ribs. As you can see, it's coming off really easy. I'm not putting that much pressure, but you do need to put some pressure. You aren't gonna break it, I promise. And if you do, oh well, just get another one. So, there we go. So that is cleaned out. We're gonna add that to our group of portobello mushroom caps over here. These are actually commonly found in any of your grocery stores. You don't have to go specialty shopping for them. One tip I will give you when working with mushrooms is that you will often see brown paper bags next to where you pick up mushrooms. Put your mushrooms in the bags. It helps them from getting that weird film on them while they sit in your fridge. Okay, so next we are going to get our onion broken down. We're just going to do a dice on this onion. We don't need very much for this. A little goes a long way on this recipe. So we're going to keep the other half of the onion for our second recipe that we're doing today. So you're just going to break this down. There we go. And then give it a dice. Whatever size onion pieces that you enjoy. If you don't like onion, just like I always say, leave it out. This is your dish. Make it how you want to make it. What I did forget to mention is I did make taco turkey already. You can use ground turkey or ground beef. Just make it the way that you would normally make your taco meat at home on any other night. So grab your favorite taco seasoning packet and cook it according to the directions. So then I did corn. We like corn, black beans, red bell peppers in our mixture. Again, feel free to sub in and out how you want. I did some fresh local corn because it's summertime, it's hot, the corn is good right now. Boiled it, and now I'm just gonna shave that corn right off the cob. You can do frozen, you can do canned. There is absolutely nothing wrong with grabbing those, but I encourage you to get fresh corn when it's in season. You really can't beat fresh corn, and trust me, there is a giant taste difference. Corn gets a bad rap, and I get it, but if your body doesn't have a problem with it, enjoy it. Life's too short to be too worried about every single little thing. Okay. So then you're just gonna break that corn up. We're gonna add that to our bowl with our turkey meat and our onions. Next, we're gonna add in some black beans. This is just canned black beans. I always get the low sodium ones and then I drain them and rinse them very well. You're gonna add black beans and then our diced bell pepper we're gonna add in there. Okay, gonna kind of mix that around a little bit. I think I probably should have gotten a bigger bowl, but it's all right. We'll make this work. And actually, after I mixed it up, I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of my red bell pepper. And then we are going to do some cilantro. Now, I have come to find out in my workings in the food world that there are two distinct camps in terms of cilantro. It's a yes and it's an absolutely not. So it actually is a genetic thing for you to not like cilantro. You will hear commonly that it tastes like soap for those of us who don't like cilantro. Well, I shouldn't say us because I love cilantro, but chop up your cilantro. We're gonna add that in. And then we're gonna add in some lime juice. You can use bottled lime juice. There's not gonna come at you for that. But I always have fresh produce laying around. And so I prefer the fresh. It's just easy, but do whatever you want. Okay. We're gonna save that other lime for afterwards to be able to squeeze some fresh lime juice on there just before we eat it. Give it another mix. And I'm using gloves today because this. So let's get the rest of our cilantro out of the way. Then all we have to do is fill these mushroom caps. I mean, I don't know how much easier this can get, honestly. The nice thing about this one is you can use this recipe if you just had taco night and you have leftover taco meat. I feel like taco meat is like spaghetti noodles where all of a sudden you look over and you're like, oh, that escalated quickly. Like I'm feeling like that about this bowl right now. All right. And you're just gonna give nice healthy portions in all of this. If you're vegetarian or vegan, just leave out the meat, guys. Bump up the black beans or, I don't know, chickpeas, tempeh. You could throw tofu in here too. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. I've got a little bit left over. I can make a burrito or, you know what, a salad. Okay. This is just gonna go into the oven. I'm going to leave it uncovered at about 375 for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then after that, I'm gonna pull it out, top it with some cheese, put it back in for 5 more minutes. I like the browned, gooey, melty cheese on top. That's my personal preference. I'm not gonna unfriend you if you don't like it. I'll just think you're weird. But anyway, I will be right back and we will finish off these mushrooms. All right, welcome back. While you guys were gone, I got the portobello mushrooms cooked. I left a couple without cheese just so that you could see kind of how they look. And then prepped up kind of a taco bar scenario here. This can be a really fun way, again, to use up leftover taco meat or just turn Taco Tuesday into something different. We are going to build one of the portobellos. I'm deciding to pair this with just a green salad that I will also add some of these toppings to make kind of a taco salad alongside of it. You can make rice, you can make, you know, a pot of beans, kind of whatever your household prefers. I know if I was at home, I would also have to have a pot of rice because there are still family members that like to have their grains and starches with every meal, which is totally fine. That's the beauty about this. We can make it versatile to fit everyone. So I am gonna grab this guy because this is the one that calls to me. I'm gonna set him on my plate. I'm gonna slide these guys off to the side for a minute so that I can make sure to get into the taco bar properly. And then what I'm gonna do here is I am gonna add a little bit of extra diced white onion. And then I'm gonna add some cilantro. Actually, I'm gonna put cilantro on top. I'm gonna do some black olives. I'm actually gonna add some of these to my lettuce too. All right, then I'm gonna jump in with some tomatoes. Got some Runaways. Again, I chose cherry tomatoes, but pick whatever you like and whatever looks good to you. If you don't like tomatoes, or you are one who is, is adverse to them, or your body doesn't react well, then go ahead and just skip them. Let me go ahead and put these bad boys back on there properly. Okay, what am I missing? I am missing some cilantro, which I will double over and put in my salad as well. It's on top of my mushroom. I'm gonna do some salsa, and I'm just gonna put the salsa on the side. That way I can make sure every bite gets salsa. Okay. I like my spice, so we're gonna do some jalapenos. And yes, I'm gonna add them to my salad too. All right, a little bit of extra cheese, because why not? And then lime to squeeze over the top. Little bit of sour cream next to my salsa. And guys, you can use salsa as your salad dressing too. You don't have to do something different for that. Hot sauce, I'm a hot sauce gal too. My preference is Tapatio. Do whatever you want. And basically, you are done. You have a dinner that looks like you put in so much effort, yet you were only there for 20 to 25 minutes max. When I come back, we're gonna do our Philly cheesesteak stuffed peppers. All right, hi guys, welcome back. I am ready to get started on our Philly stuffed peppers. Today we're gonna be using chicken to fill them, but feel free to use steak if you'd like. If you're vegetarian, I would recommend doing a portobello mushroom. You grab a few from the recipe that we did before. You can cross-use those later in the week to build this one as well. This one we are gonna definitely have leftovers for. It's 1 full pepper to half a pepper per person, just depends on your appetite. I've already cleaned and prepped most of these peppers, but I do wanna show you how to break down a pepper and talk about a couple things when you're choosing your pepper for this recipe when you're at the store. So you want to look for ones that are nice and round, that are going to have a really good shell capability. So like, see how this guy has nice and good shell in there. We can fit quite a bit in there. You don't want the ones that are longer, kind of like this guy's a little bit longer. It would still work, but the rounder, deeper half of the bell pepper is what you're striving for in this recipe. So when I break down my bell peppers for this, I'm just going to cut the pepper in half lengthwise, and then you're just going to take your center and you're just going to scoop out that top, and most of the time most of the ribs and seeds come with it. Just clean out the inside with your fingers. You can use a spoon too, and it's really just as easy as that. You do want to make sure you wash your vegetables when you get them home. All right. And then that guy's ready. So then we are going to do some white onion in there. We're using the leftover of the onion we had from the portobellos, and probably a little bit more of this guy. We're gonna do strips on these. And again, the nice thing about this recipe and the one that we did with the taco stuffed mushrooms is that you don't need a lot of each ingredient to stretch across because we are stuffing the peppers. And so it does reduce the amount you need to get. So again, budget friendly and quick to come together. I think we're probably just gonna use half of this second onion, but I will reserve this one for the week. I'm gonna put it into an airtight container, and then we will just reuse that through the week in other dishes. All right, we may even not use that full half. Then the last that we're gonna do is clean up some little cremini mushrooms. You're gonna use a damp paper towel and just gently wipe the mushroom, and then you can take the stems out. You can leave the stems if you like. You never want to actually submerge and soak these mushrooms, but you do need to clean them because mushrooms are, you know, from the ground. They're going to have dirt on them. That's what happens. So just get them clean. These ones, you don't have to remove the ribs like we did in the other one. It's just fine to leave those in there. All right. And then once those are done, we're just going to quick chop those. If you don't like mushrooms, many people don't, and that's totally cool. Just leave it out. I'm just doing the traditional items that you would find in a Philly. Still think that may be too many. And then I'm actually going to cut these down just a little bit smaller to make stuffing the bell peppers easier. And then I do like a little bit of red bell pepper in mine as well. You won't need more than half of that bell pepper. We're going to set those mushrooms off to the side as well. And then just cut down your bell pepper. I'm not sure if you noticed how I chopped that bell pepper, and I did mean to talk to you about it, is I find the easiest way to break down a bell pepper is to just stand it on its end and slice around. That takes care of all the ribs and seeds will be left. When you get to this part, just kind of cut in there. Then you're left with all the parts we don't want. You can add it to your compost. You can add it to your chicken feed. If you have, you know, any farm animals, they love that kind of stuff. I've got friends that we save all of the leftover veggies that we don't necessarily want to cook with but aren't bad, and put it in a big bucket, and the animals love it. All right, so now I've got some chicken breasts that I've sliced into thin strips and cooked already. All I did for cooking was to do some Italian seasoning in there, a splash of balsamic vinegar in the while it's cooking, and then a little bit of creamy Italian dressing. Gives you a great cheesesteak flavor. Then I'm just adding everything in. I'm debating, I think we'll chop these two down. And yeah, I definitely had too much onion. It's all right. Part of the fun of cooking is adapting while you're going. All right, so we'll set that off. That's all in there. Now we're gonna add in some green onion, and then we're gonna reserve a little bit of this green onion to top it with when we're done. You're gonna go through, not all green onion pieces are created the same, so just pick the pieces that don't look that great off. I always chop the very tippy tops off your green onion. And then you're just gonna small dice these. Like I said, we're gonna mix some inside and we're gonna reserve some for after. I keep my rubber band on so that it keeps everything together, makes chopping easier. You can come all the way down on these green onions. People oftentimes will stop right here. Don't do that. This is a good part. Cool fact about green onion is it regenerates. If you take this as is, put it in a container with some water, within a week, you'll have new green onion. All right. So that goes in there. I'm gonna add in a little bit of pepperoncinis as well. If you guys don't like spice, don't use it, but pepperoncinis are not really spicy. Trust me, they have flavor, try it. All right, and of course, what is a cheesesteak without cheese? And then just like we did with the taco meat, we're just gonna mix this up Let me get this cutting board out of the way. We're just gonna mix this up, and don't worry, we will add more cheese. I can already hear you. I'll add more cheese. I like to lighten things up, but I still like to not take away all the fun parts of it unless I have to. Like, I can't eat steak. No red meats, actually. It's part of my, my system just won't do it. And so I've learned to make alternatives. All right, guys, and we're just gonna stuff these bad boys. This is a protein-packed, macro-friendly meal. You can still feel the guilt depending on how much cheese you put on there. If you are dairy sensitive, please use a vegan cheese or whatever cheese alternatives you use, or leave it out completely. As, you know, dairy sensitive persons, you're used to not having dairy. Hopefully we have enough mixture. We should, yep. And so the equivalent of the chicken that I cut up for this was about 2.5 good-sized chicken breasts. And that is gonna yield us all of these peppers. We may have to steal from some of these that I got a little too excited to stuff. All right, so we'll have one kind of dinky one, but that's okay. No hate here, we'll still eat him. All right, guys, and so let's top with some more cheese, but let me get these gloves off so I don't dirty the rest of that cheese. And the creamy Italian dressing, if you can find it, my favorite is from, I think it's called Marzetti. It's just a really light flavored, but has just enough boldness, or the viscosity of it is just thick enough to where it feels really rich and decadent. All right, so that is that. I'm also gonna top with a little bit of Parmesan. I don't use salt when I cook, and so I grab my salt from other things, like Parmesan is naturally salty. For me, that's plenty. We just have too much salt in our diets in general, and you really need to learn how to use natural flavors of food in combinations that really just bring them to life. You would be amazed at what you're missing by drowning everything in salt. So what I'm gonna do right now is pop these in the oven. It's again the same 375 degrees. We're gonna put them in for about 10 to 12 minutes uncovered. Let all the cheese get really melty and let that pepper start cooking. We wanna keep the pepper crisp, so we're not gonna leave it in for too long. And I will be right back, and we will plate these bad boys up. All right, guys, we are back. Our bell peppers are done and ready to go. And I'm gonna tell you right now that it's gonna be really hard for me to not dive into this while we are fixing it up. So I've got just enough melt on that cheese so we get that nice brown caramely color on top. I got to figure out which one is speaking to me. But I think actually we're gonna plate up two, because I'm hungry. But I am plating it again with just a salad like we did with the portobello mushrooms. I'm trying to be able to have you guys utilize the ingredients that you buy at the store in one shop over and over again without necessarily getting sick of it. Again, you can make a different side with this. You can do potatoes, you can do rice if you wanted. I mean, it's really up to you. All right, I'm gonna stand these next to each other so that they hold each other up. I'm gonna top it with some extra green onion. I'm gonna top it with a few more pepperoncinis. And just like with our portobellos, I am going to cross over and add a few to my salad. Add some green onion to my salad. I like black olives. I know it's not necessarily traditional, but I like black olives, so I am choosing to put it on there. You don't have to, but you're gonna have some left over anyway from the portobellos. These also make a great snack or lunch the next day. They hold up surprisingly well. I'm gonna add some tomatoes to my salad. And then I'm gonna tuck a little lime in there because I like some citrus. Little parm. And then of course, some more mozzarella. I don't think I mentioned earlier that we were using mozzarella, but I think that's kind of implied with Phillies. All right, there we go. And then I have a little bit of extra dressing from cooking the chicken. And so I'm gonna just drizzle just a little bit on top of my peppers. Give it a little extra flavor and also just that little bit of extra wow factor if you're feeding anybody else. And then put it on my salad. And that is all she wrote, folks. That is another awesome dinner in under 30 minutes that is macro-minded, it's light, but still filling and hearty, but you're not gonna feel like you just ate a ton of bread afterwards and have that bloated stomach feel. So being summer and hot, this is the way to go. All right, guys, and so that will do it for us today. We made two really awesome carb light favorites for us to have on the table during the week, even when it's busy, during the summer, when it's hot and nobody wants to eat or cook heavy food. Here we go. We've got our chicken Philly stuffed peppers, side salad. Feel free to sub. Feel free to sub. No meat, choose steak, do a different side dish. It's completely your table. Make it how you want it. The other one is our taco stuffed portobello mushroom, again with a side salad. We did our ground turkey in there, but you can use ground beef, whatever you need to do. So you can go and find full recipes, tips, tricks, and instructions, as well as a shopping list on my website at Hills Kitchen, Hills, hillskitchenidaho.com. And just click on the Fresh and Fit tab and you will see all of our episodes with links to any recipes and shopping lists, totally free. I thank you for joining me again today. I had a blast. I'm gonna cut us off here because I can't decide which one I wanna eat first. And until next time, stay fit and fresh and cook like a boss, and I will see you soon.